guys, I am here today with my second Village Candle review. I will link below my first and only Village Candle review, which is on their mulled cider scent. And if you watch that one, it's not the friendliest, nicest review. That candle wasn't the friendliest or nicest to me. So there were a lot of complaints with the mulled cider, everything from the scent throw to the performance. It tunneled like crazy. It had puny wick syndrome. It lived its life in foil. It wasn't very strong. But, and let me tell you, like that one, I was pretty much done. I didn't even want to purchase another Village Candle, even though they're always $9.99 at TJ Maxx and Home Goods. You can always get a good deal on them. I've seen so many other people give them rave reviews, positive reviews, but that was a pretty bad experience for me. I was a little nervous moving forward, but I happened to be shopping in TJ Maxx one day, gave this one a little huff, and oh my gosh, it just smelled so good. I'm having such a moment with maple right now. I just kind of can't get enough of this maple scent. So I said, you know what, for 10 bucks, let's give it a try. Like, you know, fool me once, whatever the saying is. But I was like, you know, if this screws me the second time around, that's it. I am done with Village Candle, but I am happy to say that this candle has completely redeemed Village for me. So this is maple butter. I believe Village Candle are 26 ounces, so 4 ounces more than Yankee. I guess they just fill it up to the top here, where's my finger, the top here, a little bit higher than Yankees, but they're pretty much like the same. I don't know, they don't seem much bigger. But anyway, it's the maple butter scent, and I found the description on the Village Candle website, so I will read that to you. And it says, nothing says good morning like the delicious aroma of maple syrup and buttermilk pancakes hot off the griddle. We carefully blended a number of fragrances before we perfected this mouth-watering aroma that makes calling everyone to breakfast as easy as lighting a match. And yeah, the description's pretty spot on. I always find it funny when candle companies describe it as like an experience, like bringing everyone together for breakfast. Like, I mean, I get it, but like, let's just be honest. It smells like maple syrup, butter, and pancakes being cooked. But it really does. It smells like if you were cooking pancakes, someone was cooking pancakes in your kitchen, you know that scent. It's like when you walk into a diner. Like this candle smells like a diner to me, minus the grease. Like, you know, sometimes you can get that like fried, greasy sort of smell in a diner. This doesn't have that, and this does not have a coffee scent to it. It's just straight up pancakes being cooked on the griddle, buttery maple syrup, like sticky, gooey maple syrup, and then this like rich, creamy note, which is that buttery note, and it is just perfection. Like, it's the most perfect pancake maple scent I've ever smelled. I've smelled the Yankee Candle. I think it's like maple stack or pancake stack or something, but that has like a little bit of a funky sort of smell to me. And sometimes like buttery bread notes, like pancake type of notes, can smell somewhat funky or sour to my nose and just a tad bit off-putting. This has none of that in it. It is purely maple, syrupy, buttery goodness, and they really nailed that pancake scent without making it overwhelming, without making it sickening or that sour, yeasty bread type of note. It's just a very lovely maple type of note. I guess kind of a bakery, but like really not. I wouldn't give this a bakery because I wouldn't want you to confuse this with like a cookie, cakey type of scent. It's very distinctly pancake. You know what? There's actually a better description even than the diner. It smells like IHOP. So if you've ever been in an IHOP, that's what this smells like. Because IHOP doesn't have that like fried coffee kind of scent that you would associate with a diner. This straight up is bottled up IHOP, like heavy on the maple syrup, IHOP through and through. So I'm all for it. Let's talk about performance of this candle, especially in comparison to the mulled cider. So much, much better performance on this baby, and it has been so since day one. This is my 5th or 6th burn. Every time I burnt this candle, I've lit it for about a minimum of 4 hours, up to I think 6 was the most I've lit it at one time. But unlike the mulled cider, I have yet to have puny wick syndrome with this guy. They're pretty typical of Village where they're not super, super high, and my camera is not high enough to really see them. At the end of the video, I'll do an overview, but they are not super high, which is good because it's a double wick, And like sometimes with Goose Creek, if the double wick is too high, what happens is it'll soot at the top. There is zero soot here. This has been a very clean burn, which I appreciate. So I think that the flames are just right. They're not too high, they're not too puny, they're just the right height and performance where I'm getting a beautiful even wax pull. This candle pulls out within the first 45 minutes thanks to that double wick, and it is a hard paraffin wax, so to pull out in like 30 to 45 minutes is really wonderful, I think. And they're not too high where it soots, they're not too high where it gets too hot. Like it really is performing beautifully, and you can see that wax pull is great. I've had not a single issue with tunneling, not since day one. It's just been great. And also sometimes like with these paraffin candles, like Yankees, sometimes the first 1 or 2 burns aren't that strong. Not this one. This has been a thrower since the first burn. So the scent hot is exactly what it smells like cold. This is a candle that does not change when it's burning. It really holds true to the cold sniff scent, which is great. I do appreciate that. So it's like when you smell it in the store, you know exactly what you're gonna be getting, and that's the fragrance that it fills your home with. And this does fill my home. For a throw on this guy, I would give it a 7.5. 8, depending on what room. I've had this in my living room, which as you guys know is the biggest room in my apartment. It's the toughest one to get a like full throw with. And this gave in my living room about a 7 to a 7.5. I've burned it in my kitchen. In my kitchen, it was like an 8, strong 8.5. It was really strong in my kitchen. And I started like wafting into my hallway, a little bit into my dining room. I found the best place for this candle though is actually my hallway, because it'll send up my entire entryway, my hallway, all the way down to my kitchen. A little bit of it does kind of travel into the front of my kitchen, and a little bit of it also travels into the front of my living room, which is nice. So the hallway is the best place for me. It gives a wonderful all-around scent, and it is a really nice, I guess it's somewhat guest-friendly. The only reason it wouldn't be guest-friendly is if you have some heathen over who doesn't like the scent of maple syrup and pancakes, but why would you be friends with someone like that? So yeah. I think it's wonderful. It's like, that's like someone walking into an IHOP and being like, smells like shit in here. Like, I just don't think that's gonna happen. So to me, I think this is a very guest-friendly scent. I am not someone who likes foodie scents in the morning, but I love this candle in the morning. And I said that with the Bath & Body Works apple pancakes. I guess there's just something about a pancake scent that's like one food scent that I'm totally cool with having early in the morning. It's like maple syrup. It's like something you're used to waking up to, even though it's like a sweet, sweet scent. And that's the other thing about this, even though it's sweet, it's not sickeningly sweet. I guess because it does have the balance of the butter and that creaminess and pancake sort of scent, that the maple syrup is not so pow in your face overwhelming no matter what time of day. And Norma had mentioned about this candle, like this is a great one for cold weather. And I just had to acknowledge that because she could not be more correct. This is such a cozy, comforting type of scent. Yesterday, early morning, afternoon, it was rainy, it was cold here, and I had this baby going, and it was just so warm and so comforting. And that's just one of the things I really love about this candle. And I think it's pretty true to the burn time. Let me just double check what that is, because this is a nice slow burner. And what I found is a lot of times with the 2 wicks, you don't get that sort of slow burn. It kind of just burns down really quick, unlike a Yankee, which will last forever. So the burn time on this is 145 to 170 hours. I don't know how accurate that is, but like I said, I've had this burning for probably over 20 hours, burning it like 4 or 5 times, 4 to 6 hours of burn. And it really has not gone down much. It was right about up here. So that's kind of all that's burned through. But yeah, a nice slow burn. Like again, it just, I'm amazed. I'm shocked. This candle has 100% redeemed Village Candle for me. I mean, the performance is just incredible. Like it put that mulled cider to shame and restored my faith in Village. So I'm just going to do a quick overview, if I can not cover that, a quick overview of the candle. I don't know, that's not from me trimming the wicks, because that's another thing I should mention. I've never trimmed the wicks on this. I don't trim wicks on Village after that first experience because they can be puny, so they're never too huge when I light it out. They don't mushroom, so there's really no need to trim these wicks. So I guess that's just the candle doing its own thing in there. You cannot see that stuff when it hardens though, just when the wax pool is clear. So yeah, that is Village Candles Maple Butter. That's my review. If you've had this candle, if you've burnt it, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.